But I'm going to be honest, and I think that I certainly appreciate that about her. And I'm also the same kind of psycho that she is in terms of like competitiveness. Now it comes out in different ways. But we both just really want to win, and we want to set ourselves and our teammates up for success. And so it was really important for me, right away with her.
The dynamic between Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White is very interesting because clearly it's a relationship with a basis of respect. I mean, when Stephanie White was hired, Clark was thrilled, super excited. And coach said all the right things about coming in and coaching the Fever and coaching Caitlin Clark. Then fairly early in the season, I would say there was a bit of a philosophical divide, but it never got to be completely worked out, right? And it wasn't as if they were at odds, but I noticed when they would talk about things, and for instance, when Caitlin Clark had come back from one of her injuries.
Get this. Caitlin Clark just dropped some sharp words that sent shockwaves rolling through the entire league. She was talking about finding her rhythm again after returning from an injury, and she mentioned exactly what Coach Stephanie White had been stressing to her: the need to set stronger screens and move off the ball more. She recognized those coaching points, but then almost instantly, her voice shifted with this bold, undeniable edge that made everyone lean in. She doubled down with pure confidence and said straight up, "I'm at my best with the ball in my hands." And this wasn't just some normal comment tossed out casually. What she delivered sounded like a clear, unfiltered challenge, a direct pushback against the very system her own coach was trying to build. The message came out loud and unmistakable, right there for everyone across the country to hear, and the tension that followed was unreal. You could practically feel the air freeze after her words dropped, like the whole arena stopped breathing for a second. It exposed a major, very real philosophical clash between star and coach, laid out in front of millions like a spotlight no one asked for. The silence that hung in the air said everything. This wasn't just a simple disagreement. It was the start of something way bigger. From the start, the hiring of Stephanie White had the whole Fever fan base buzzing with excitement, and Caitlin Clark was reportedly thrilled too. White stepped in, saying everything people wanted to hear, promising passion, commitment, and a coaching style built to support her rising superstar. It sounded like a perfect match on paper, the type of duo folks thought would shake the whole league in the best way possible. But here's the twist. That honeymoon didn't just fade slowly, it vanished almost instantly. It slipped away so fast that even longtime fans were left wondering what just happened. Before the season even had time to settle, a real philosophical divide started cracking through their partnership, and this wasn't some small misunderstanding. This was a deep disagreement about how the entire team should run, and especially how Caitlin Clark should operate on the court.
And it wasn't as if they were at odds, but I noticed when they would talk about things, and for instance, when Caitlin Clark had come back from one of her injuries and Ari McDonald was there, and they were asking about playing together, and Clark referenced some of the talking points Stephanie White has made, like being a better screener, about playing off ball, but then she, reiterated that she's at the best with the ball in her hands. And that reminded me of when I was there for the Liberty game, the first Liberty game that Clark got hurt in, not the one that she came back and exploded in. And before that game, there was a little bit of a hint of,
Now, they weren't openly arguing, not at that stage, but the tension was sitting right under the surface like a spark waiting for oxygen. Supporters watching closely noticed the vibes shift early, even while both sides kept their respect intact. Those small cracks showed up fast, hinting that something much more complicated was brewing, something that wasn't just going to disappear on its own. The first major public sign of this growing split came when Clark, still working her way back from injury, was asked directly about her role, especially her dynamic with teammate Erica Wheeler. She gave the expected respectful answers, repeating White's notes about moving off the ball more and becoming a stronger screener. But the real moment happened right after that. Suddenly, the competitive, confident version of Clark stepped forward, the one everyone recognizes on the court, and she stated exactly what she believes without hesitating for a second. She didn't hide it. She said that her best performance comes when the ball is in her hands, when she's running the offense, controlling the tempo, and acting as the main engine driving the team. And this wasn't just a simple preference or a gentle suggestion. It was a bold, clear declaration of who she is as a player, and it directly clashed with the system White was trying to install. It felt less like she was adjusting to a new plan and more like she was gently, but publicly, pushing back on a direction she didn't fully agree with. And get this, that moment echoed an earlier, quieter situation that happened right before a big matchup against the Liberty. White once again emphasized the importance of Clark spending more time off the ball, framing it as a way to give her a break and help the offense flow smoother. It all sounded practical, almost strategic, but Clark's response carried the same subtle resistance. She accepted the idea politely, acknowledged the benefits, but then circled right back to her core belief that she performs at her absolute highest level when she's the one holding the ball and running the show. Clark made it clear she's at her most dangerous when she's controlling the offense, ball locked in her hands like it was made for her. At that moment, everybody watching could tell this wasn't just a tiny disagreement about one play or one rotation. This was a major collision of two completely different basketball mindsets. It felt like a real power struggle forming right under the surface, and it looked like it could erupt at any time. Fans and the media wasted no time jumping all over these moments, spinning them into dramatic storylines that spread everywhere. That quiet philosophical divide between Clark and Coach Stephanie White got turned into a loud, messy spectacle, with headlines acting like White was trying to shut down Clark's style or limit what many see as a rare talent. Before long, the whole team was being viewed not as a united squad, but as a group fighting through internal tension that nobody could ignore. Suddenly, every single word from Clark or White became a clue. Every glance, every slight pause, every sideline clip got picked apart like it was evidence in some high-profile case. This only pushed more pressure on both of them, making the situation heavier than it ever needed to be. And because neither side publicly cleared the air right away, people started assuming the worst, turning small disagreements into huge, headline-grabbing power battles playing out on national screens. Then came the moment everyone had been waiting for, the chance for Stephanie White to finally speak on all the rumors spinning out of control. She stepped onto Sue Bird's massively popular Bird's Eye View podcast, ready to face the noise head-on. And she didn't hesitate for even a second. This wasn't a shouting session or some heated back and forth. This was her calm but strong statement, delivered with absolute certainty about who she is as a coach and what she stands for. White pushed back on all the talk by laying out her philosophy clearly, showing none of the doubt people were trying to pin on her. She emphasized over and over again how essential it is to build a real, trusting connection with Caitlin Clark, something deeper than just drawing plays on a clipboard. She kept her tone steady but powerful, making it clear she had no intention of letting the public rewrite her intentions or her relationship with her star player.
How important was it to forge that relationship with her for all the reasons?
I mean, really important. I'd had just a little bit of a relationship with Caitlin from calling her games a number of times, when she was in college, but it was very important. Look, she's obviously the centerpiece of everything that we do. And most importantly for me was just connecting and building trust. I don't know how she does what she does and handles it so gracefully. I'm not sure, myself as a.
And in that moment, her message hit hard. She wasn't here to battle Clark. She was here to guide her, challenge her, and help her shine in ways that last long term. This wasn't a coach running from criticism. This was a coach planting her flag. White wasn't just recognizing Clark as a superstar. She was framing her as someone who had to be pushed, shaped, and sharpened to unlock her highest ceiling. She laid it out with precision, almost like she wanted the whole world to understand exactly why she coaches the way she does. Her words felt strategic, intentional, like she was drawing a line in the sand while everyone was staring at her every move. Under all that public pressure, she made sure her coaching principles came through loud and clear, showing she wasn't about to waver for anybody. And then, right there on the same podcast, White dropped another major statement, something that sounded, at first glance, totally opposite of the drama everyone was talking about. She said, "She's obviously the centerpiece of everything that we do." The message hit instantly because it wasn't just about Clark's on-court abilities. White was openly acknowledging Clark's incredible influence as a business force too, someone who brings massive attention, ticket sales, and excitement to the league. But the twist came right after. White followed that warm acknowledgement with a firm, no-nonsense declaration of her core principle, delivered with so much conviction, it almost felt like she was sending a message straight through the microphone. She said, "I'm a firm believer that you have to coach and challenge your best players." And that line flipped the whole conversation on its head. This wasn't White backing down. This wasn't her offering a soft, polite compliment. This was her saying, with total clarity, that being the centerpiece doesn't shield Clark from tough coaching. If anything, it requires it. White set a boundary right there, making it clear that leadership isn't about comfort. It's about growth, accountability, and expecting the highest standard from the person who drives the team's identity. She was saying without any hesitation that having a generational talent doesn't change the rules, it raises the expectations. And White didn't sugarcoat a thing when she described how she operates as a coach. She laid it out plainly, calling herself very honest and incredibly transparent, signaling that she doesn't dance around tough conversations or soften her message just to keep players happy. Her style is direct, sharp, and sometimes intense, and she admitted that this approach might spark friction now and then. But to her, that's part of building real trust inside a team. She was basically saying, if I'm coaching you, I'm telling you the truth, even when it's not easy. That kind of bluntness can shake things up, sure, but she sees it as the only path to a team that actually believes in its direction. White made it clear that her honesty isn't aggression, it's commitment. The kind of commitment she expects to be matched by the players she pushes the hardest. White wasn't offering a gentle suggestion. She was laying down a rule, a straight-up non-negotiable expectation for everyone on her squad, especially her star player. She made it clear there'd be no guessing, no side messages, no quiet complaints. If someone had a question, they were expected to walk right up and ask it. Her style of blunt honesty wasn't just a preference, it was the backbone of her leadership. Her way of clapping back at any hint that her authority could be misunderstood or doubted. She wanted the same direct energy from her players that she gave them, making it obvious she ran her team with an open door and an open mouth. No secrets, no shade, no games. And then came the line that shook everybody, the one that sliced through all the media noise. White said, "I'm also the same kind of psycho that she is in terms of like competitiveness," and the whole basketball world froze. This wasn't a joke, not even close. It was her stepping up and saying she matched Clark's intensity stride for stride, that she lived in the same fierce competitive zone. Sure, they might show it in different ways, but she wanted everyone, including Clark, to know their fire came from the same place. She basically declared that the tension people were noticing wasn't personal drama. It was two ultra-driven competitors pushing against each other in the hunt for greatness. That one line put them on equal ground. Two forces with the same hunger, the same edge, the same obsession with winning. It flipped the whole storyline, suggesting their clashes weren't signs of conflict. They were signs of two strong minds fighting to find the best path forward. But even with all this public talk, their on-court connection never had the chance to reach its full potential. Clark's body kept betraying her. First, the ankle issue that lingered like a shadow, and then the season-ending groin injury that shut everything down before it could truly start. The version of Clark and White that fans wanted to see, the pairing everyone knew could be electric, never had time to lock in together. All we got was the possibility, the what-if hanging over everything. If they had stayed healthy, would their philosophies have blended into something unstoppable? Would the tension have transformed into chemistry? Nobody got the answers, and that emptiness made their public comments feel even heavier, almost haunting, like unfinished chapters in a story that never got to unfold. And here's the part that really ties it together. Clark has always carried a streak of quiet defiance when it comes to coaching limits. It goes all the way back to her early years, when she compared her deep, fearless shots at Iowa to Steph Curry's, saying, "You don't tell Steph Curry not to shoot those." That mindset showed exactly how she thinks. She trusts her instincts, she trusts her talent, and she protects her style of play like something sacred. That moment wasn't disrespect, it was her claiming her identity. And honestly, it perfectly foreshadowed the friction with White's system. Clark has never been the type to let anyone box her in, no matter how well-intentioned the guidance might be. She believes in her own lane, her own rhythm, her own spark, and she's willing to stand on it every single time. That earlier moment proved without question that Clark wasn't afraid to stand her ground, even when it meant pushing back against traditional hoops logic. When she believed in her approach, she doubled down with confidence. No hesitation at all. But White's coaching vision went straight at the core of how Clark played. And that's where things got real intense. White's philosophy was built around developing parts of Clark's game that didn't come naturally to her. She wanted Clark to sharpen her off-ball movement, become a stronger catch-and-shoot option, and, most importantly, learn exactly when to let a teammate take the wheel. These weren't small tweaks or light suggestions. These were major shifts that challenged Clark's long-standing identity as a ball-dominant offensive general. White's insistence wasn't flexible. It was firm, steady, and full of purpose. It came across like her own snapback, a direct push against Clark's confidence in her personal style. This became a real turning point between them, almost like a quiet strategic duel happening in plain sight, each trying to guide the direction of Clark's growth in totally different ways. Then came another powerful moment, something nobody expected. The Fever started winning without Clark at full strength. Even when she was limited or completely sidelined, the team suddenly clicked into rhythm, running smooth sets, locking in defensively, and stacking up wins. It felt like everything White had been building finally showed up on the court.
Root to her a little bit because she had a little bit of that Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant DNA in her, and that's a great combination. So it's exciting to see how it goes going forward because they didn't have a chance. They like each other, they trust each other, they're both great at what they do. So it's hard to see it not working out, and Caitlin seeing what the team was able to do without her, that's got to be helpful in a certain sense to know what they're capable of, and then them knowing what they're capable of without her, and then knowing what she is capable of.
Those wins proved something huge. White's system didn't just work, it could thrive. Her coaching adjustments, her structure, her belief in the roster, all of it came together like a machine built for momentum. And even though Clark celebrated her team's success, those victories still showed the world that White's approach wasn't dependent on one player, even a star like Clark. It silently validated everything White had been stressing, adding another layer to their already intense dynamic. And when you look at Clark's personality, this tension makes perfect sense. Her competitive engine is legendary. People compare that fire to icons like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, and even her Iowa coaches, Lisa Bluter and Jan Jensen, have talked about how tough it can be to reach her because of that fierce, stubborn drive. She's wired to win, wired to push herself, wired to chase greatness with everything she's got. This is the same competitive instinct White openly said she shared with her, that same relentless, borderline wild determination to outwork everyone in the room. That's why Clark sometimes pushes back on coaching limits. Not to disrespect anyone, but because her confidence in her instincts is sky high. Her mind is always locked on victory, and anything she feels might hold her back triggers that intense, unstoppable spark inside her. It's not malice, it's belief. A deep, powerful self-belief that only the great ones truly understand. In this high-pressure spotlight, even harmless comments from Coach Stephanie White kept getting twisted into supposed digs at Caitlin Clark, turning normal statements into wild storylines that piled even more stress onto their already complicated relationship. A perfect example came when White spoke about Kelsey Mitchell's importance during contract talks. A simple, reasonable comment. But some fans spun it into a claim that Clark wasn't the centerpiece anymore. That showed just how intense the environment had become, where anything White said could be flipped, exaggerated, or misunderstood as a hidden jab at her star. White had to walk through a minefield where every sentence carried huge weight, making their working relationship even harder to manage. But here's the surprising part. Despite the public tension, something real started building underneath: trust. Clark actually posted a supportive message about White during the team's strong run while she was injured, and that move said a lot. Even though the public saw friction, behind the scenes, A genuine connection was forming between coach and star, proving that their disagreements didn't erase the respect growing between them. White even explained that earning Clark's trust was the key to coaching her effectively, and that trust became the foundation that allowed her to challenge Clark without tearing down their relationship. And honestly, White earned every ounce of credit. Her coaching performance through Clark's injuries was incredible. She kept the team locked in, steady, and successful, even when their franchise player was sidelined. Guiding the Fever through tough stretches and still delivering a strong finish showed her skill, her leadership, and her ability to keep a roster unified under pressure. Those wins were a quiet but powerful clapback to anyone doubting she could lead a star-heavy squad. They proved she wasn't just riding Clark's talent, she was building a full system that could hold its own, no matter who was on the floor. And White's biggest challenge wasn't simply coaching someone like Clark, it was blending Clark's genius into a system where everyone could shine. Her constant push for Clark to trust her teammates more and give up the ball at key moments wasn't shade, it was strategy, a plan meant to make Clark even more dangerous by adding layers to her game. White wasn't trying to shrink Clark's role, she was trying to help her evolve into the kind of player who could lead a dynasty. The Fever's success without Clark at full strength only made the dynamic more intriguing. It showed the team had real depth, while also highlighting Clark's unmatched individual brilliance. Both Clark and White know exactly how special Clark is, a once-in-a-generation talent, and that makes their clash of philosophies even more captivating. Can White's push for growth blend with Clark's instinct to take control? Can Clark's confidence mesh with White's demands for balance and trust? Their partnership is like a high-stakes chess match, where every word, every adjustment, every tiny snap matters. Their dynamic could create a dynasty, or keep building dramatic tension that the whole league watches unfold. What makes it even more gripping is that beneath all the pressure and public noise, they truly respect each other. They genuinely like each other, and they both want the same thing: championships. They're exceptional at what they do, fierce competitors with matching fire, and the big question hanging over everything is whether their styles can merge into something legendary. The tension is real, the stakes are massive, and the future could deliver either a powerhouse dynasty or an ongoing clash between two relentless forces chasing greatness. And now we're standing at the edge of something massive, a story that's not finished, a rivalry that's not broken, and a partnership that could either explode into greatness or shatter under the weight of its own fire. Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White aren't just player and coach. They're two unstoppable forces locked in the same storm, both chasing the same dream with a level of intensity most people will never understand. Their future isn't guaranteed to be smooth, but that's what makes it electric. Their chemistry could evolve into a legendary run that changes the whole league, or it could stay as this unpredictable, thrilling back and forth that keeps fans glued to every possession. What we do know is simple: they both want to win, and they'll push each other until something historic happens. And trust this, whatever happens next is going to shake the league again, because this story is nowhere near done. The drama, the energy, the tension, the brilliance, it's all building towards something huge, and you're going to want to be front row when it pops off. If you want every subtle snap, every behind-the-scenes shift before anyone else hears it, you need to lock in with Courtside Leaks, the spot where the real stories drop first and the raw details never get watered down. The saga is heating up and the next chapter is already forming. Don't miss it. We've got every angle covered, every leak, every backstage twist, every moment they won't show you. Hit like, subscribe, drop a comment, and share this video. Stay locked in with Courtside Leaks, your home for the truth behind the WNBA headlines.